Joining us today is the head of artificial intelligence in Savart, Mr. Suhruth. Hi, Suhruth. How are you doing?
Doing good, Suraj. How are you doing?
All good. So, before we get into the discussions, I would like our viewers to know about your journey from being an engineering graduate to being the head of artificial intelligence in Savart.
So this is what 7 years back, right? So the first year of my BTech, out of IIT coaching, everything, you have a lot of freedom, right? So it was really exciting. I was learning everything I can: robotics, algorithms, web development. I was all over the place. But then I stopped at AI. Like a lot of people, my introduction to AI was through this famous course by Andrew Ng, professor at Stanford. So that was first course. And I was really amazed by what you can do with AI. I mean, like think about it. A first year BTech student can do some facial recognition stuff, and you can brag about it endlessly to your friends in first year.
Wow.
So after that, after that first kick, I started working with my professors, and then I went on to intern at a couple of really good labs in AI in Hong Kong and USA over the course of my undergrad.
Okay.
But I was always clear that I was going to pursue PhD and then settle in the academic research. But my first corporate internship during my final year BTech, that changed everything. I was really amazed at what algorithms we developed like 3-4 years back in the community, AI community. Using just them, the kind of impact you can have, the amount of impact you can have on the real life people. It was crazy. Like I was totally blown away by that.
Nice. So, why Savart? Like, what made you join Savart in particular?
Right. So the first and most exciting part, of course, is the vision, what we want to achieve with AI with Savart, right? I would say it's exciting and scary at the same point because of the diversity of problems we need to solve to get where we want to be. And in general, investing is a blend of art and science. There are millions of variables that affect what happens in a stock market.
Yeah.
And that's a quite exciting problem to solve with AI. But yeah, that, the idea of contributing to something, this huge, and that the problem that with a real impact on the world, that's what is very exciting to, choose about.
Nice. Your experience and knowledge in this field is really amazing. We would like to know more about AI. So, to begin with, can you tell us what exactly is AI and how is it helping people in day-to-day life?
Interesting question, right? So currently AI is omnipresent, like whether you realize it or not.
Okay.
You're using it your keyboards for autocorrect, your face ID for login,
Yeah.
and your Google Maps, everywhere it's being used. And AI has been quietly upgrading our quality of life for it already, I'd say close to a decade. But with recent developments like ChatGPT, there's a lot of attention that is coming onto AI.
Yeah.
And how AI works, right? How exactly AI helps. The working of AI, it's pretty simple on a high level. So everything in nature has a pattern, even we realize it or not. I mean, the way we talk, behave, move, day and night, seasons, all these things have a pattern. And we humans, we are very good at identifying these patterns. So as a baby, right?
Yeah.
So it only takes a few cows for you to see and then realize, okay, this is how a cow looks like. This is the shape, color, it has horns and all. And now the core concept of AI is to, mimic this intelligence. I mean, I'd say the end goal at least. A system that can see the world and understand the world just as us and potentially even better than us.
Thanks for your answer. I'm sure our viewers have gotten a good amount of clarity about how AI has been integrated in our daily lives. So yeah, moving forward, I understand that AI is doing really great. And can you tell us about how is it used in Savart and how do we trust our money with it?
So yeah, that's a really hard question. I'll try my best to answer that. So, firstly, Savart's AI system, we call it APART, which stands for, Advanced Process Automation and Research Technology. Nice. It's very long, so we never call that it anyway. So, the problem with, automating a field like stock market, the investments in stock market is there are millions of variables in that. And one person can't go through all the data points on each one of the company. And there are about, thousands of such companies currently trading. Even if we go through the data points, definitely we can't do it in a reasonable amount of time, and time is of essence in these markets. And if let's say you solve these two with the humans itself, and the third one is the most important one is the human bias and emotions. that affects our decisions more significantly than what we think, right? So think about it this way. An analyst who has worked in a sector under geography for about 5 to 6 years, he is now used to looking at the investments in a certain lens. Now, let's say he has to look at some other sector, a completely different one. Most probably is gonna, look at it in a similar lens. Now here is where AI comes. Firstly, it will analyze millions of data points for you that you can't. And in just a matter of minutes, and without any bias that comes with experience for humans. Using all this, we get to the investment opportunities that usually we wouldn't have, just by analyzing it ourselves.
I also understand trading is quite fast paced and decisions need to be made really quickly. So, how do you handle all of this?
So, I mean, trading definitely is a fast paced environment, but yeah, disclaimer to our viewers also, we don't trade or speculate. What we are into are, long term investments. So, we definitely do have a lot more time than an average, fast paced trader. But yeah, we are very picky and choosy about where we are going to invest. So, let's say, like I was telling, right, there are millions of data points regarding each company. So, because we are very picky about the quality of the research, it takes about anywhere between few weeks to few months for an analyst to just analyze one particular investment.
Wow.
Now time is of a really big essence in capital markets, right? So that's where AI comes in for us. So apart, it has broadened our research from a matter of weeks and months to a matter of hours. So that's exactly how it has helped us do it very quickly, whatever we do.
So, you were sharing some crazy numbers with me offline, right? So, do you mind sharing the same crazy numbers with our viewers?
No, I don't mind it at all. And I think it's the most interesting part, right? So just the sheer numbers. I was telling you like there are millions of data points and all that, but how many millions? Yes. So just for a quantitative research, we use about 25 million data points from like thousands of companies. There are about 5,000 publicly traded companies now in India.
Wow.
And for all of those companies, we have data on the last 25 years, and that amounts to 25 million data points. And like I said, it's hard for a human to understand, but how does our model understand? So our model does about trillions of computations in a matter of hours, like couple of hours.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it tells us. So the thing with our AI models, we don't try to predict the future. We don't try to predict where the stock market is going, but rather we try to understand what happened in the past. Okay. So what this model is doing with this computations is it's effectively telling us, see, this is what happened in the past. In these circumstances, these are the kind of companies that thrived. We look at that and we gear ourselves for the future. Okay, let's see how it is matching up to the present. Now, let's say to summarize the entire, how do I say, from the data point to the final output that you see in your app, the portfolio you see in your app, what happens. So there are three very important components in our APART, which is our AI system. First one is the quant, the numbers we were talking about. It's completely about the numerical data that we can get on each company. And then Iris. This is exciting for a data scientist to work on because here we work on a lot of textual data like annual reports and all this. So, through, the decades of experience of investment from our CIO, our founder and our analyst, we have a certain kind of aspects that we want to, how do I say it, evaluate a company on. Because a company is not just numbers, it's beyond good profit, good revenue and all that. It's also about how good the management is. Is the work culture good? Is the management trustworthy? Are they, standing on the word that they're giving to the people? So all these kinds of aspects we try to evaluate the company on as well. Now, let's say we filtered all the companies, we have our master portfolio now. From Quant and Iris, we now know exactly what companies to invest on. But it's not good enough if you don't understand who you're advising it to. See, because you and me, we have different needs, right? You might want to take more risk on the investment. I need more, secure investments. I don't want to lose my money.
Exactly.
So this is the exciting part. So we try to understand the user needs, like how much you want to invest, how long you want to stay invested, what is your end goal with that investment. And then our Synapse system maps that profile to whatever stocks are there in our master portfolio. Right. So that's the reason, each and every one of our clients right now has a unique portfolio.
Interesting. But has AI only helped you in optimizing research operations, or has it even helped in generating better returns for your clients?
Good question. I mean, optimizing the operations is just, side effect of what we are doing. The end goal is always to generate better returns.
Okay.
Right. So every recommendation on any security that has gone out in the past 3 years is driven by APART.
Wow, that's great.
Right. And it's the reliance on human analysts has gone down slightly, actually significantly lower in the past 1 year due to the advances we've made in the system. And given the metrics, the performance of the current models, the only metric that matters to our clients is the return we give on their investment.
Okay.
And we've been giving over 23% CAGR over the last 3 years, which is staggeringly high, like almost 100% over Indian stock market benchmark, which is Nifty.
Okay.
Right. And in general, our AI system is doing what we want it to do, but we want to continually improve it, so that we are able to achieve 20% CAGR consistently over next 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right.
So what is the future roadmap for Savart's AI plans?
Got it. So I was telling you, right, in the Iris part, I was mentioning from decades of experience, people have come up with, these are the aspects we want to evaluate a company on. Now, again, this is a human input. I was telling you precisely that a human always has a lot of bias from his experience. Now, that is something we want to eliminate. So, final version that we are working towards with Apart is, a system that understands the data and also learns from the experiences.
Okay.
Instead of us telling it, okay, this, how do I say, these are the aspects that we want to evaluate the company on. We want a model that understands the data by itself and understands what kinds of aspects in a company are needed for it to thrive. So a self-learning model that learns from the experience is the end goal of what we're trying to do. The self-learning capabilities and the qualitative research we are doing, we believe these are our differentiating factors from other well-established hedge funds, which completely rely on the quantitative factors.
Indeed, it was a pleasure talking to you and your thought-provoking response. I'm sure after watching this interview, our viewers will have a lot of clarity about how AI is used and its relevance in stock market and in Savart in particular. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Suhruth.
Awesome. Pleasure is mine.